Ladies and gentlemen, travel is back. Yes, the world is opening up again, and we at Wendy Wu Tours, we can't wait to fulfill your travel experiences and travel dreams again and transport you to the most amazing destinations in the world whilst giving you the best experiences on the planet. Fantastic to see you today and a pleasure to be in your company. I'm Andy, your host on this very special Good to Go travel show today. Yes, get ready to pack those suitcases because, ladies and gentlemen, we are bringing you the very best destinations that are open for travel now. Yes, that's right. All the destinations that you see on today's show are fully open, completely ready for travel and have no quarantine restrictions. Amazing. So, coming up today, I'll be speaking to two travel gurus at Wendy Wu Tours to find out exactly which countries are on that Wendy Wu Tours green travel list, plus all the information you need to know before you go. Tickets, passports ready? Yes, we're off to Central Asia, which now has a total of 6 countries on the ready to go travel list. From Central Asia, we're taking a plane. Yes, we're off to the Middle East to bring you Jordan and Egypt, and the 2 countries on the green list. And ladies and gentlemen, if that's not enough, then yes, time to get super excited. Big news. To celebrate the reopening of travel, we've got some of the hottest travel offers for you. More on those later in the show. Plus, straight after today's show, you have a VIP invite to our special party room, where you will meet our fellow travel experts and, of course, our friends and travellers who, just like you, simply love to travel. And, of course, there's the opportunity to ask as many questions as you like. So please stay with us until the end of the show and then come and join us in the party room. Now, ladies and gentlemen, very excited now. I'm joined by Peter Crane, Head of Global Product at Wendy Wu Tours, and Kate Rowe, Head of Reservations at Wendy Wu Tours.
Hi.
Great to see you both. Thanks for joining us today. So, Pete, huge developments now in international travel, which, ladies and gentlemen, is fantastic news, as I'm sure you agree. The Wendy Wu Tours Green List, we've heard lots about this, Peter. So exactly what is it and why is the Green List important for customers?
Andy, what this Green List is intended to do is to simplify travel for all of our customers. We all know how complicated all the rules around travel have become over the last few months. So what we've done is created a list of all the destinations in our range of tours where you can travel freely right now without any need to quarantine or self-isolate. Simple as that.
Really easy, really easy. Kate, Green List is great, had a good look at it. Viewers, I do encourage you to have a look on the Wendy Wu Tours website and have a look at that Green List because everything you need to know is on there. But Kate, I did notice there's a lot of Asia still missing from that Green List. Particularly China and Japan, which, ladies and gentlemen, I know we're really keen to get back to as soon as possible. So, Kate, what's the story with this?
You're right, Andy. There's not much Asia on the list at the moment, and we are all keen to see that list continue to increase. But you know, things are moving in the right direction, and we are feeling really optimistic about other countries being added to that list soon. So we're working really closely with our partners who are out in country, getting regular updates from them, and they're able to really keep us informed of you know, local plans and local situation on the ground. So I'll give you an example with Japan, which I know a lot of people are really eager to hear about. We've been talking to our partners in Japan, and things are looking good there. So their vaccination rollout has been really successful. They've now got nearly 70% of the Japanese population fully vaccinated, which is great. And so as a result of that, the government is now starting to move ahead with their roadmap and looking at how and when they can start travel up again. So we know in November that the Japanese government is going to trial some small group touring and also encourage domestic travel up again. And you know, as long as that continues to go well and move in the right direction, they will then be looking to open to fully jabbed international tourists. We're really confident at the moment that Japan will be open to vaccinated tourists early next year.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know what you're thinking, I know what you want to ask. Sakura, Kate, Cherry Blossom. We've missed it for 2 years now. Third year, 2022, are we going to get there?
It's looking good, Andy. So I know there's a lot of customers that will have planned to go to Cherry Blossom in 2020, delayed to 2021. But as I say, things are going really well in Japan, and we are seeing the government taking steps now to proactively get travel back up and running. So we are confident that Cherry Blossom 2022 will be going ahead.
Oh, let's hope so. Fingers crossed, everybody. Fingers crossed. Kate, again, back to you. Countries on the green list. Now, fantastic. No need to quarantine, on arrival in the country, and also coming back to the UK again. But what about testing?
Sure. You're right. The main thing is that no quarantine, no self-isolation. Of course, those are big hurdles for people. With regards to testing, things are changing all the time, but as it stands, all of the countries on our green list currently require no testing on arrival into the destination, and on return to the UK, they just require that day 2 test. You probably heard the announcement last week from the UK government. So that was a PCR test that people had to do on their return to the UK. The good news is that that has now been replaced from this week with a lateral flow test, which makes things just that little bit easier and cheaper for people to arrange. So that's another really good step in the right direction. I would add that things may well keep changing. So even customers booking on our Good to Go tours aren't going to be travelling for another couple of months. So I wouldn't get too bogged down with some of the detail around testing and around some of the other details, some of the other restrictions that may be in place, including mask wearing. We're keeping a close eye on that for you, and I would just want to reassure all of our customers that when it gets nearer to the time of your departure and your specific tour, we will be in touch with people, letting them know exactly what they need to do and helping them make arrangements.
Oh, that's wonderful, and very, very reassuring for everybody, knowing that Wendy Wu Tours have got their fingers firmly on the pulse of travel. Pete, 13 countries on the green list. Fantastic news, including the new European tours to Portugal, Greece, Italy, you name it, it's on there. Is this list going to change, and if so, how often?
Yes, Andy, we're expecting the list to change and grow over the coming weeks and months as the world of travel gradually reopens. The European destinations you mentioned are open already. That's to say Portugal, Greece, Italy, or Scotland, obviously. At the same time, in the Middle East, we have Jordan and Egypt, which are already on our green list. In the Caucasus, Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan are all on the green list. Central Asia, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Kazakhstan. In South Asia, Sri Lanka is on, which is very exciting, and Nepal has also come onto the green list. We're expecting India to follow shortly, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. And in Latin America, Brazil is on the green list, and we're hoping that some of those other Latin American destinations will join it very shortly.
Brilliant. So I guess, in terms of, ladies and gentlemen, keeping an eye on what's going on, it's important to keep checking the website and keep checking that green list.
The website, the emails we send out to our customers, and also the social media channels are the places to go for all the updates on the green list destinations.
Fantastic, so do keep checking that. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter is our Global Product Director. He's the font of our knowledge with travel, so we want to know, 2022 and beyond, what's top on your bucket list for travel? Where are you going and where do you want to go?
My bucket list has been getting deeper and deeper over the last 18 months with all the restrictions in place. Anyone out there who loves travel has been so frustrated. And my list has just grown and grown, but I'm tackling it from November onwards, actually, this year. I'm going to southern Italy to see parts of our Secrets of Southern Italy tour, which is newly launched just last week. And then in the early part of next year, I plan to get to Japan in time for the cherry blossom season in March.
Wonderful. Lots of travels, lots of things to see and do. Kate, there has been, since this green list came out, I know there's been a real buzz in the call centre. Lots happening. What are people asking for? What destinations are being booked? What's the buzz?
Well, you're right, Andy. It's just so nice that customers are calling up excited about their trips, and it's so nice to be able to help them plan their trips again with confidence that those trips will go ahead after, you know, so many people have had to postpone trips and delay trips. And so yeah, it's wonderful. We're getting inquiries for all sorts of destinations, a real mix. All of the destinations that are on our good to go list are proving popular, so we're getting quite a lot of inquiries for Sri Lanka, Central Asia, and of course the Europe stuff, because the Europe tours only launched quite recently, and lots of our customers who weren't able to get away in 2021 are really keen to book and get away to Europe in early 2022. And also, Andy, I have to mention our Scotland tour, which just returned. That's the first tour that we've had that actually operated and travelled this year. So we've also been really pleased to be able to speak to some of our customers who have just returned from the Scotland tour and hear all about it, and hear you know, what a fantastic time they had, and help them with their other trips for 2022 and 2023.
Amazing, amazing. Great to see that, boys. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. Yes, touring is back. First tour into Scotland and back. All very successful. So do keep an eye out on the website on the green list, and give our team a call. The lines are open and they're ready and waiting to hear from you. Kate, Peter, thank you so much for joining us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, you've just heard it from the experts. Now, who is ready to travel with me? Now to an area that stretches from the Caspian Sea in the west all the way to China in the east. It's back to Peter Crane, Global Product Director at Wendy Wu Tours, for a magical journey through Central Asia. Peter.
Thank you, Andy, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to one of my favourite regions in the world, to Central Asia. Here is a place where history, architecture and landscape combine in the most dramatic way, where the fabulous cities of the ancient Silk Road will transport you to another age, and where you'll witness the vast, majestic landscapes through which camel caravans transported silks and other goods from China to the Mediterranean. Due to its location on the bridgehead between Asia and Europe, Central Asia has always been a turbulent region with a long and very eventful history. Invaded and occupied by Genghis Khan, by Tamerlane, and by so many others, including most recently by the Soviet Russians, the region is now a real melting pot of peoples, religions, and cultures. So when you travel here, you'll see firsthand the way all these influences combine in the food, the music, the art and the architecture, even the people themselves and the languages. It really is a remarkable region. Geographically, Central Asia is vast. It's 4 million square kilometres, so roughly 15 times bigger than the United Kingdom, but with a population more or less the same as ours at 72 million across the 5 republics. Most of the land is mountain or desert, or typically rolling, grassy steppelands, where nomadic communities still graze their livestock even today. Our most popular tour in this region is called Road to Samarkand. It's a really special itinerary, combining as it does the most beautiful landscapes of the region in Kyrgyzstan with Central Asia's most extraordinary architecture in the fabled Silk Road cities of Uzbekistan. It's a 22-day tour starting in Bishkek and ending in Tashkent, and along the way we take in the full sweep of Central Asia's Silk Road history. And as always with Wendy Wu Tours, it's a fully inclusive itinerary with all the meals, all the sightseeing, activities, guiding, accommodation and transport included into the price. The physical rating for this tour is 3. This is not so much because of the walking content, but more because of the high altitudes we go to, and also some of the long journeys and less than perfect road conditions in this part of the world. The tour begins in the capital of Kyrgyzstan, Bishkek. Here we discover the city and then drive into the nearby Ala-Acha National Park in the Tian Shan Mountains to take in the dramatic landscapes of snow-capped peaks, waterfalls and rivers. Next we head eastwards to Lake Isikul, where we enjoy a cruise on the lake, which is set in the most majestic location with soaring mountains to the north and to the south, reflected often in the water. At nearby Karakol, we visit the unforgettable Sunday market. This is one of Central Asia's most traditional and most authentic markets, where you'll witness the local nomadic people coming in from the surrounding countryside to trade their sheep and their horses and other animals and other goods too. We also go to a nearby village to watch a fascinating demonstration of eagle hunting. This is one of Central Asia's oldest traditions, and for centuries eagles have been used by the local people to hunt across the landscapes of the region. One of my personal highlights of this tour is the historic and extremely remote Tash Rabat caravanserai, set above 3,000 meters in a peaceful valley dotted with nomad yurt camps and surrounded, as you see, by snow-capped mountains. In this beautiful setting, which has barely changed in 1,000 years, it's so easy to imagine the ancient Silk Road camel caravans travelling through and staying at this caravanserai. Later, a short flight brings us to Tashkent, capital of Uzbekistan, where we see the old town of Tashkent and the more recent Soviet monuments too. Plus, we visit an amazing ceramics workshop to learn about the tiles that decorate so many of Uzbekistan's most famous buildings. From Tashkent, we head west to Samarkand, which is probably the Silk Road's most famous city. Here we stay 4 nights and have 3 full days with plenty of time to see all the key highlights of Samarkand and many of its lesser known highlights too. Samarkand is probably most famous for this place, the Redistan Square, with its perfect architecture and the exquisitely decorated facades of the 3 madrasas lining the square, which date back to the 15th and 16th centuries. We also visit this place, Gur-e-Amir, which means in Persian, Tomb of the King. This is the magnificent resting place of Tamerlane, founder of the Timurid Empire. This building is regarded as one of the greatest examples of Islamic art and architecture anywhere in the world, and it was the prototype from which many other great buildings across the Islamic world were built, including the Taj Mahal in Agra. So our journey continues from Samarkand to Bukhara, with its equally impressive collection of buildings and monuments from the Timurid Empire. Like Samarkand, Bukhara prospered from the trade along the Silk Road and now has more than 140 classified architectural monuments. UNESCO has listed the whole entire centre of Bukhara as one of its listed sites. Here we have plenty of time again, not just to see the sites themselves, but to soak up the atmosphere of the place, which is remarkable, and to meet some of the local people, including a visit to a local workshop where traditional crafts such as block printing, metal chasing, embroidery and carving are still being practiced today. Then we travel on to Uzbekistan's 3rd and final Silk Road city, Khiva, and stay for 2 nights. Khiva is much smaller than Samarkand or Bukhara, but it's just as impressive, especially in its UNESCO-listed city centre called Ichankala, which is surrounded by a mighty brick wall, and it's home to the massive Kunya Ark and the huge unfinished minaret of Kaltaminor with its gorgeous tile work. And from here, we take a short flight back to Tashkent, where the tour comes to an end. So a remarkable 22-day journey through the very best of Central Asia. Before I finish, though, I'd like to briefly mention our 2 other tours in the region. We have the Ultimate Uzbekistan Tour, which is shorter, at just 12 days long, and focuses only on Uzbekistan's fabulous Silk Road cities. And we have another option, which is the longest and possibly one of the most epic and exciting tours that we do, called Journey Through Central Asia. This is a 27-day tour starting in Bishkek, ending in Ashgabat, taking in all 5 countries of Central Asia, the so-called stans of Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. So both the 22-day Road to Samarkand tour, which I talked about earlier, and the 12-day Ultimate Uzbekistan tour are on our green list. These are countries that you can travel to immediately. We could go there tomorrow if we wanted. So Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan have opened their borders to travellers, and you can travel there without needing to quarantine or self-isolate. The longer 27-day Journey Through Central Asia tour, we can't travel to just yet, but we're hoping we'll be able to get there next year as soon as Tajikistan and Turkmenistan throw their borders open to visitors. Thank you, everybody, and goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, Central Asia. What a truly spectacular destination. Well, our journey continues now as we catch a flight to the southern and eastern shores of the Mediterranean Sea. It's over to Joe Lavers, our Middle East travel expert, for a magical journey across Jordan and Egypt. Joe.
Hello, my name is Joe Lavers, Senior Business Development Manager for Wendy Wu Tours, and I'm going to just take you through our fantastic journey through Jordan. So, a little bit about the country first of all. It's situated in Western Asia, or as us Westerners like to call it, the Middle East, and is situated really at the crossroads of Asia, Africa and Europe within the Levant region on the east bank of the Jordan River. The Dead Sea is located along its western borders, and the country also has a 16-mile coastline on the Red Sea in the southwest. It's very arid, fantastic, beautiful deserts, and our tours travel in May, October and November, which are superb times to travel, with the average temperatures being around 27 degrees centigrade in May and October, and a little bit cooler by a few degrees in November. Now, one of my big subjects I always like to discuss about Wendy Wu is the fabulous food that is supplied on our tours. This is a classic tour, so all of your food is included along with your fantastic accommodation, guiding and experiences. And across the Middle East, food is amazing. Of course, some of it you will be familiar with, such as falafel, hummus, roasted eggplant, shawarma, shish kebabs. But the big main dish in Jordan, the national dish if you like, is mansaf, which is lamb cooked in a fermented dried yogurt and served with rice, and it's absolutely delicious. And they've got some fabulous sweet treats as well, using up coconut, sugar, almonds, yogurts, akawee cheese, just absolutely stunning pastries. And there's a quote in Jordan which I really think sums up the country. Even when you are full, you can always eat 40 more pieces of food. Now, this isn't just about eating until you're full, but this really is a reflection on the importance of generosity and hospitality and the significance of food in Jordanian culture. So, what are some of the highlights on this amazing tour? Well, you'll visit the Roman city of Jerash and watch a chariot race. You'll explore mystical and ancient fortresses and wonderfully well-preserved ruins. You'll see the famous biblical site at Mount Nebo. You'll get, of course, to discover Petra, but not just by day, but also by night, which is absolutely a must-do for any visit to Jordan. You'll even have a Petra cooking class as well. You'll camp in the deserts of Wadi Rum, and you'll bathe in the mineral waters of the Dead Sea. So in other words, really this tour is a fantastic blend of Jordanian ruins, Petra and Roman history, authentic cuisine, wonderful and diverse landscapes with mountains, desert, the Dead Sea, of course, city stops with Amman, Asalt and Madaba, and of course really indulging in the whole Jordanian culture. So upon arrival in Amman, your first day is your arrival day. Depending on what time you arrive, time at leisure, then you'll join us in the evening for your welcome dinner, get to meet the rest of your guests and your guide for the duration of your tour. And then really day two is when we really get going. And we travel to the city of Asalt for the tour of this UNESCO World Heritage Site, rammed with ancient architecture and founded by Alexander the Great. And from here we'll continue to Jerash, known as the Pompeii of the East, for a tour of the ruins and to watch a chariot race. Now, Jerash really is some of the most well-preserved Roman ruins outside of Italy. And you'll experience the fantastic Roman gladiator show and chariot race, which is made up in three parts. And it really is to show the military side of battle, formations and tactics. And then the narrative explains the Roman army and how they lived, how they fought, their traditions and their customs, before seeing some gladiator fights and then finishing up with several two-horse-drawn carriages, chariots if you like, competing, doing up to 7 laps of this amazing area. And then after this fantastic show, we'll drive through the pine forests and the olive groves to reach the area of Aljuan and the castle there of Saladin, perched on top of the hill for nearly 1,000 years, and just to indulge ourselves in more Jordanian culture and history. So day three, we spend some time in Amman with a tour of this capital city of Jordan. And we'll take you to the Citadel, which is one of Jordan's most famous sites, set up on the hillside overlooking the old city, the Roman amphitheatre, which dates back to the 2nd century AD, and also once held up to 6,000 spectators, and also the downtown area. And then we'll head out of the city for something quite special, to visit some of Jordan's desert castles, beautiful examples of early Islamic art and architecture. And you'll see the stunning artwork in these UNESCO World Heritage Sites, including the Al Karana Palace and the Azquaq Castle. We'll then have a really unique experience, and I think this is just typical of some of the things Wendy Wu tours do and offer. So it's a Nai making workshop. Now, the Nai is an authentic musical wind instrument, and it's made of natural reed collected from the Jordan Valley. And each one of our guests will take home a Nai that they've made throughout the workshop. And this is a private workshop just for our Wendy Wu Tour customers. So day 4, and we head to Madaba, the city of mosaics as it's known. It has the oldest known mosaic map of the Holy Land. We'll also travel to Mount Nebo, which was mentioned in the Bible as the place where Moses was granted view over the Promised Land, and also the site of Moses's tomb as well. And from here, through the Canaan Valley, where it is believed that Moses was died and buried in a nearby village, we'll see the ruins of the 4th and 5th century churches, whose floors are still covered with absolutely marvellous and intricate mosaics. And then from here we'll travel on to magnificent Petra, of course, an absolute highlight. But the trip itself there is amazing. We'll take in one of the largest Crusader castles in Jordan and travel through the King's Highway, which was the principal route for traders traveling between Arabia and Levant. It really is amazing, and it hugs the edge of the Great Rift Valley with the Dead Sea filling the bottom of the split, if you like. And we'll arrive in Petra overnight for again another special experience where we'll visit the Petra kitchen, and you'll learn how to make local family traditional Jordanian food, freshly sourced that day from the local market, and local chefs will talk you through and you'll experience how to actually make some of this amazing food and of course taste your wares as well. And then we come to what for many will be the highlight of a visit to Jordan, Petra, and it really is almost an impossible place to describe. It is my favourite ancient site that I've visited in the world, and it truly is amazing. As you come through the seek, the cleft, if you like, in the mountain, and you walk through and you know what you're going to see. You will have seen it in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, for example. But even though you know what you're going to see, that approach is incredible. And then as you come through, there it is right in front of you, and it's red hues, the treasury. And it really, really is a stunning sight. And the beauty of traveling with Wendy Wu Tours, we want to give you the best experience, of course, of these historical sites. So because of where we stay, very close to the entrance of Petra itself, you'll be some of the first people in there. You'll have time at leisure in the afternoon, but then quite uniquely, we will actually go back in to visit Petra in the evening, where they light up thousands of candles, and it really, really is a very, very different experience to visit this fantastic site at night time. We then have some fabulous time in the desert, and we'll visit Little Petra, a much smaller cousin, if you like, to the main Petra, and the desert where Lawrence of Arabia was filmed, Wadi Rum. And this stretch of desert really has been home to Jordanians for thousands and thousands of years, and really is impressive. Although the lack of fresh water and vegetation, it's really earned its place in history as well, with the locals fighting the occupying Turkish and German armies during the Arab Revolt of 1917 and 1918. And really now, while most of Wadi Rum's Bedouin inhabitants may have moved away from their nomadic lifestyle, they still have played a pivotal role in recent years in bringing tourism to the area. And we're going to go on a 4x4 Jeep safari. Then we're going to have a fantastic lunch at the Wadi Rum camp, where you'll have your afternoon at leisure and you'll also have your dinner here. So you'll be camping out in these fabulous, fabulous pods out in the desert sky. What an absolutely amazing experience. So we're now coming towards the end of this fantastic tour, and after breakfast we're going to transfer to the Dead Sea, and we'll also have a little bit of lunch and afternoon at leisure here. Now the Dead Sea is landlocked. It's a salt lake located in the Jordan Rift Valley, and it's on the border between Jordan and Israel. It's 304 meters deep, and the rain and surface water flows into the Dead Sea, but apart from evaporation, the water's got no escape. And this sort of the continuous evaporation in combination with the high salt content means that for over 65,000 years, the salinity levels of the Dead Sea have been ever increasing. And it really is a great thing to do. I've been there myself. You do that tourist thing, you lay on your back, open up a newspaper, get some pictures taken. But of course, the minerals and the mud of the Dead Sea are really great for your skin and for rejuvenating yourself as well. And a lot of people do come here for sort of medical reasons, as well as just the pure fascination and leisure of being in the salt lake. And you'll have dinner at a 5-star hotel in the evening to round off your amazing tour of Jordan. So after this week-long tour, that may not be enough for you, and there's lots of things you can do to add on as extensions. You could stay in Aqaba, for example, which is a fabulous coastal city in Jordan on the Red Sea. Fabulous beaches, snorkeling, seafood cafes, waterfront promenades, and fabulous desert scenery. You could possibly also add on another tour and maybe go to Egypt with us. Also on our good to go list, both Egypt and Jordan are open for business. People are going to traveling there now, and we really encourage you to look at this other destination to add on to Jordan as well. So that's it from me with regards to this tour. Really is amazing. I've been to Jordan, absolutely love it, and I really encourage you to look at our fantastic deals and offers in traveling there now. Thank you for listening.
So you've had a taster of just some of the destinations that are now completely open for travel on our good to go travel list. But there's more. Let's take a look. Now, early in the show, I mentioned that to celebrate the reopening of travel, we have some truly outstanding offers for you. Did I mention that? Yes, I did. And yes, we most certainly do. Ladies and gentlemen, book any of the tours featured today on our green list, on our ready-to-go destinations, and you can save up to £450 per person. Yes, that's a whopping £900 per couple. Or if you're a solo traveller, you can save 50% on your airfare. But to qualify for these offers, you must book by November the 15th. Ladies and gentlemen, fantastic to see you today, and we hope that you've enjoyed your travels through Central Asia and the Middle East just as much as we have. Plus, of course, all the exciting news on those destinations that are now fully open for travel with no quarantine restrictions. Just how travel should be, and we can't wait to take you there again. So now we're coming to the best part. Yes, it's the party room, where you're going to meet our expert travel team who can't wait to meet you. Plus, you'll be able to find out so much more about all the destinations that you've seen today. Plus, of course, more on those fantastic special offers. Hey, and as this is a party, it's a great opportunity to mingle and meet many like-minded friends who, just like you, simply love to travel. So now you'll see the party room link on your screen. Really easy. Just click on the link and you'll be in. And remember, you can ask a question at any time. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a real pleasure. I've really enjoyed it today. Thank you so much. And now let's head over to the party room. We'll see you there.